Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Master Grade Gundam video review. And this time I will be taking a look at the Master Grade of the RX-178 Gundam Mk-II version 2.0. Now, this kit was... It was a quote. There was a lot of stuff going on with this kit that was a deal breaker for me at the time. Just the design of this kit, it's just basically a hulked out RX-78-2 is what it ends up being, as you can obviously tell. It's color, or it just looks amazing with the navy blue instead of the clear or the bright blue. It just looks so much cool. It looks so much more industrial, and just looks overall so much cooler. The big backpack, that's a plus too. I do like the mesh hoses that are part of this kit. That was insane to put together. I mean, this was my second experience at Master Grade, and when it threw in a couple of bonuses that were not plastic, I was like, wait, what is going on here? So it's nice that they gave that little bit of a difference into the mix, and I was just astounded in how it turned out. Now, this being one of my favorite lead suits, this is obviously the, if you didn't know, this is the first lead suit, mobile suit, of the sequel anime to the original Gundam series called Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta. So, this is the first suit that we see the hero of the series, Camille Badan, piloting through the first half of the series before he gets the upgrade of the Zeta Gundam that the TV show is named after. And as I did point out a couple times already, it's a hulked out original Gundam, which if we were to take a look at them two side by side here, that's quite a significant difference. Yeah, this thing being 19.5 meters tall as opposed to this thing originally being 18 meters tall. The head height is just an astounding difference, and it just looks so much beefier and just so much cooler. Overall, it does look really nice. There is some little bit of wobbly issues in the kit, which we'll get to in a little bit. Posability wise, it is exceptional, as Master Grades tend to be. The head is on the doubled ball joint at the top and bottom of the neck, as well as, if you were to look in there, there is a polycap which is attached to the ball joint on the neck, so it does have hinge movement in there, so he can look down as far as that, or look up as far as that, which is pretty impressive. And just the neck. The shoulders can rotate 360 degrees and then swivel outward here on this piece, or on this polycap joint right here, and then this piece right here actually does slide up into the body to allow for some extra bending upwards. We do get a double joint in the elbow, which does end up coming off very nice. And then we also do get a hinge in the wrist as well as a ball joint. But yeah, that hinge actually does have a cut in the back of it, so he can actually put his palm, or his hand, flat up against the wrist if he would like, for reasons unknown. And the fingers. Now, it does have the bend in here as we saw on Mark II, or on the 2.0, but these fingers are the traditional, if you hear other Gunpla fans, they call this the traditional 3-1 and a thumb finger. And they call that because these three fingers are fixed together, but they are still connected individually on the arm, or on the hand there. So there are three all connected together, so they all move at once. And then the trigger finger moves independently, and then the thumb moves independently. But yeah, still pretty decent in the hand articulation, at least. We do have a couple of moving parts in the torso, which can rotate left and right, up and down. Now this piece is not actually fixed to anything, it just kind of floats there, which kind of does get a little bit annoying in some cases. The cockpit hatch is actually relatively easy to open. All you simply do is just pull this piece out forward, and then lift it up, and then come down here, and lift that part down. And now you can look inside and you can see the pilot. If we can get a good look in there, yep, there is the pilot in there. Just like before, unpainted. I do not have the painting skills to go in there and get that detail done. I wish I did, I just haven't had the time or necessarily the effort to do it. And I am missing something here. Oh. Alright. I forgot to grab something for this review. But yeah, it just closes back up nicely. Just like that. The backpack, these beam Saber handle pieces are on ball joints, so they can move any way you like them to. I kind of just like them sitting out, kind of angled. And so the front skirts do get out of the way pretty well. The side skirts do get out of the way fairly nicely, but the back skirt is completely fixed. That's not going anywhere. And that's okay, because this thing does have pretty good articulation once you get those skirt armor pieces out of the way. Well, at least it can bend that far at the top of the leg for the waist, or for the hips. And then the hips are actually connected on this single rocking piece. So if you want them bent forward, it can. It does help with some bit of articulation. And just go ahead and close all that up. And then it does have a thigh swivel. And these knees are just insane, because this is where some of the armor separation goes, which does look pretty awesome when we get to do it. Basically, it does get almost a complete 180-degree bend. And as you can see there, all of those armor pieces just expand to allow, just like, to stretch out and allow for some extra movement, which does look awesome, I do think. And the ankle armor does kind of, it is on a separate piece, so it does kind of rock on its own. And then the ankles do rock forward and backward too, and that's what causes this piece to separate. And then the back of the heel actually is on a piece on its own for rotating. And the ankle itself is on a ball joint, and as you can see in there, there's actually some nice chrome pistons working independently too, which is awesome. So yeah, and then it can bend all the way forward there on the ball joint like that. And then the toe, that is an insane toe bend. It can bend forward all the way like that, or if you have stuff out of the way, it can close up and look like that. So don't know when you would ever need that kind of posability, but it is there if you desire, which is what makes me so happy with this line. One of the Gundam Mk-II is basically, out of all the Gundams that I like, for lead Gundams at least, out of all of them that I've seen so far, this one is not my favorite, but it is at least in my top 5. And that's simply because any mobile suit that is a transforming mobile suit, especially a lead that gets to be, in all technicality, a transforming mobile suit if something moves to make it look different, even, it's automatically up there in the high points. This guy is still in my top 5. And he doesn't even transform at all, which is saying something. Now, accessory-wise time, which I forgot to get out the rest of the accessories here, so bear with me for just a second. I guess I could have did a jump cut, but we can go ahead and start off with the shield. Not necessarily a basic shield, so to speak. It does have quite a little bit more going on to it than the RX-78-2 shield. These yellow bits right here were originally stickers. I tried painting them on, and I painted it on horribly. I think I'll go in and fix that in the future. The shield does fold up, and it does that by pushing this forward and then just sliding it up. And then it's got a stored folded up mode, which I don't ever expect to use all that often, so I just have it slid out and normal. And then these ammo packs can actually be removed and be used on the beam rifle, which I'll just go ahead and close those back up. And now the shield comes with this attachment piece, and all you basically do is take the arm, most likely going to be the left arm when you're going to attach the shield, and attach that on there, and then you can just slide the shield either on that way, or you can actually slide the shield on the back of the arm if you want them defending Victory Gundam style, using the back of his arm as the shield. So he does have that different options available. I do like having it just off on the side. That's the way a Gundam shield's supposed to look, in my opinion. I am tearing up my setup here. Alright, and so there's with the shield attached. I'll go ahead and take a look at the show off these beam sabers, because they're actually pretty cool how they do, or how they work. They're attached on to here by a piece of plastic that's on a hinge, and then the actual peg hole for the beam saber handle is pegged into the backpack right there. So you have to actually slide it forward, and then you get to pull it out. And then it's just a matter of simply putting it in the hand, which that is such a strong connection. I don't have any of the fingers wrapped around it, and it's not going anywhere. And then just take one of the beam sabers. It's kind of a clear reddish pinkish color for these beam sabers. They're not necessarily the same pink as the original Gundams are for the 2.0, but they're the same mold beam saber, so if you want, you can swap them around if you like. I don't know why you would, but he does have that beam saber option, and that does look pretty nice. I do like the way those the dark reddish pink beam sabers do look. Go ahead and just unpeg that, put this back in the backpack. Like so. Now for the other weapons. To start off, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this little guy. This little headset piece here is the head Vulcan piece, or is the Vulcan pod. Now, most Gundams have the Vulcan pods, or the Vulcan launchers, actually in the mobile suit itself. This one actually has it as a separate piece for reasons I cannot quite remember why, but I'm pretty sure, like off the top of my head right now, I can't remember what this thing actually, or the overall purpose of having the separate Vulcan pod was, but I'm sure somebody, when you watch my videos, would comment and tell me what it is, and I'd probably go on Gundam Wiki and look it up. And it's just a simple clip on top, or on the sides of the head, and it looks okay. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the way that looks all that much. I mean, it is a nice little addition, but and the antenna, if you watched in the anime when he's firing off the Vulcan shots, the antenna does bend up and down. So he's got that going for him. So we could just go ahead and take that off. And now for the other weapons that we do have. We have the beam rifle, which is an awesome looking beam rifle. Just basically an upgraded beam rifle from the original Gundam. I do love this thing. I just love how it looks. It does have the handle here on the side for not necessarily a foregrip, but it's a side grip kind of thing. So he can hold this two-handed and get better stability. And the ammo pack is removable. It just pegs on and pegs off just like that. And the scope is actually on a hinge, so if you don't want it scoped out, it can actually fold out, and he can go ahead and hold on to his beam rifle like so. Maybe, if I can get the... There we go. And now, the last weapon that we do have is the Bazooka, the Hyper Mega Launcher. I believe it's the Hyper Launcher is what it's called. I'm not 100% certain. I cannot remember if this thing has any specific name or if it's just simply a bazooka. But it is a very nice looking rocket launcher. I really do hate the word of bazooka. It just sounds so not so formal. And it does have the same kind of peg connector on both sides of the handle for that way, so you can do right or left-handed weapon mount. And just like the beam rifle, ammo clip is removable. And just slides back in like that, and you get a spare, which is nice. And with the spare, or with the ammo clip and the little bit on here on the side of the gun right here, if you can see what I'm actually pointing at here, let's do it on this side. This guy right here, if you were to take it, you can actually put it on the side skirt right here. It just slides on just like that. So if you want, he can be armed with an extra ammo pack, so that way if he runs out of ammunition on the grenade or on the rocket launcher, he has an option to reload. And now the handle does rotate, and you can fold it up all the way, just like that. And also for storage on this thing, if you were to come back here, there's this little hook right here that you fold out, and it just kind of rests on there, like so. Then of course, just like almost all master grades, we do have a unpainted figure of the pilot. As you can see here, it is the standard A.E.U.G normal suit, which is basically just the on the floor now, but it's supposed to be Camille Badon, considering this is his mobile suit. But you can pretend it's like anybody from the Zeta series or even Double Zeta series who piloted this thing. This thing got a lot of love. Not as much as Rick Diaz, but a lot of love from main characters. So, with all the weapons attached on, this is one thing I like to do. I just wish my display actually had enough room to do this, is have all the attachments, all the weapon attachments on. And then bring out this piece right here, which is a display stand. Basically, is all it is. Similar to the Perfect Grade Unicorn stand, it's just a nice looking stand where you can just have the Gundam standing on top of it, and it doesn't look too bad. And it's supposed to reminisce of a maintenance deck. The maintenance deck of the Argama. So just bring little Camille back here since I decided to throw him on the floor. And what I like to do is I usually like to set him. There's these little these little panels here for the feet to rest in. I just have him standing in there like that. And then this elevator arm does extend up as long as you have the stuff in the right way. And I do like to try to get these guys into a position where it actually looks like they're working, because these are little workers attached onto a copper wire, so it kind of looks like they're floating in space on the emergency anti-gravity cables. So there we go. We can have them working, and then open up the cockpit hatch. And even though there is a pilot in there, we can have another pilot here getting ready to have the Gundam all prepped and ready for takeoff. It just looks nice, and I do really like this display option. I just wish, once again, my display had enough room for this option. And now, if you were to come down here and look, there is these little teeth here on the stand. Now, this is for if you have the Zeta Gundam 2.0, which when I review that one, I will show off the connection like that, and you can put the display base that came with Zeta Gundam 2.0 and have it connect onto there. So we have the maintenance deck here for the Argama, and then we have the launch platform. And it just looks awesome. I do like that look. Pretty much, if you want, you can put any mobile suit in there, as long as the feet work for it. And another gimmick that this thing has, but it's kind of hard to show off. I don't really like showing it off all that much, but the panels that are on the feet do slide forward. So if we just slide them forward a little bit, also the heel pieces come up to launch the Gundam out, and there goes the Camille, or the nameless pilot. Come on. There we go. And then just stand him back up. Woo! Alright, there we go. And there we go. Alright, and so there is the Gundam Mk-II. Once again, another one of my favorite mobile suits that I can't say enough about this thing. At least in my top 5 of favorite mobile suits. And the fact that this guy doesn't even transform, and the fact that I like transforming mobile suits so much, does say something with this kit. And really, they cannot do this kit any better justice than what they did with this 2.0. This is by far the best iteration of the Gundam Mk-II. Now, they do also have this kit in the A.E.U.G, or in the Titans colors. I do not own that yet. I'm planning on getting it. It's just, the overall fact is, it is literally the same master grade, minus the maintenance deck. And I really don't know how I feel about building the same master grade kit a second time at this point. I mean, it's been so long since I built this, it would kind of feel fresh, but I'm not too sure about it. But I once again, I do love this kit. It is a very fun, very cool looking master grade, and I cannot recommend this enough. Now, for some of you people, or for some of the collectors out there, some people who don't have as much experience building as, so like novice level master grade build, novice level model kit builders, and just novice level builders in general, would have a tough time putting this together, especially with those mesh hoses. And if that's a deal breaker for you, I would steer away from this kit. I mean, it just looks bare without those mesh pipes, and there's really no alternative to it. And if you really don't like having to do that, word of warning, it's a little time consuming. It's a little tasking. You get this long hose that's kind of like a shoelace mesh hose, and you have to whoa, bumped the camera here. You'd actually have to go in and measure the links and then cut the links accordingly. So if you're not good at doing that, I would steer away from this kit, because it's necessary to do for that kit, and it's a little time consuming, and it could get a little frustrating for people who are new to building. So other than that, this is an exceptionally amazing kit. I do love the detail. I do love the design of the mobile suit itself. I do love the amount of work that went into making this kit come out, and just overall looks amazing. Now, granted, it is a dated kit, considering this came out 10 years ago. This was released in 2005. So, granted, even though that is an old, or relatively old kit, even compared to the RX-78-2, it's still a very good kit, and it still holds up, and even so much as being reused for master grade for Gundam build fighters. So if you like the Mark II, I would definitely go for this kit. I mean, it is a very fun kit to build. I mean, the Mark II, I looked at it and I said I wanted it, basically. Just on impulse. I looked at it and I was like, I like the design. I want this kit. And I fell in love with this mobile suit. It is one of my favorite. It is by far one of my favorite lead mobile suits to date, and it's up there in the top 5 at least, and that even goes alongside the Zeta Gundam and the God Gundam, the Shining Gundam, and the Gundam Wing-Zero. Not the version EW, but the actual one from the TV show. That's my top 5. Zeta, Shining, God, Mark II, and Proto Zero, and Wing-Zero. So basically, those are my top 5 lead mobile suits. And once again, I cannot. If you do like this kit, I cannot recommend this enough. I mean, I would. The only reason why I would actually want to get the 1.0 of this guy is the fact that it comes with, the option to connect it to a 1 to 100 master grade scale, or the 1 to 100 master grade of the G Defensor, which will allow you to form the Super Gundam. This does not have that option, and 10 years after this came out and still not having that option is a little bit disappointing. But, oh well, it's one thing I can look over, considering how often the Super Gundam actually showed up in the anime. But overall, I do like this kit. It's a fun kit to build. It does look very awesome. It is imposing on the shelf with its size. And even if I had a chance to display that, the maintenance deck display base, it would just bring out the look of it even more. And now, I've probably gushed on this long enough, so anyways, this has been Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review. If you do, it'd be nice to see some of those, see what you guys say, so leave a comment if you'd like, and yeah, I cannot say enough about this thing. I love this kit. It's one of my favorite kits to build still. But anyways, this has been Ratchet Reviews once again, and I hope you guys like this video review, and I hope you guys like the rest of my Master Grade video reviews that I'll have coming out, and I will see you guys next time with another review. See ya.